Alrighty, welcome in. Another Wednesday, another live stream, check-in, Bitcoin vibe check. We're back over 100K. After just being at 90K not that long ago. 90K low wick, back to 100K. Bollinger Band set up for a higher move. But we need to be on the lookout for potential head fake. We got to see a close above here if we want to avoid that. So even though it looks bullish setup, back-to-back days, retest on the 21 EMA. Great sign. Everything looks great here. That's when you want to be most cautious, when it looks like it can't fail, from my experience. So we'll see. If we can close above 101, high probability of higher. If we don't, right, I don't care if prices go to 107 today. If we don't close above 101, it could be a head fake. We want to watch out for this. Because then, this also like opens my mind to that potential scenario. When you get these like little Darth Maul fake outs to both directions, usually some kind of bigger move is coming. Now we hope to the upside, right? Hopefully it goes to, we're in up only mode. But let's be on the lookout, right? We're still in greed. We've been up here for a while with no dramatic retests or, any kind of long term, right? Anything that's gone down has been recovered almost instantly. So we hope for higher, but we're cautiously optimistic here. All right. So that's kind of my food for thought for the day for our vibe check. Looking for today's candle to just close at a new all-time high close. So closing price, right? We're looking for that. All right. What comments, questions do we have? Let's get to it. There's nothing in the chat yet. Hopefully this is coming across as, decent. We have nobody in here. And we have a warning on Bitcoin not Bitcoin. The stream rate looks a little bit low for YouTube. See if we can pump that up. I know it's a different time. It's probably an odd time for a lot of people. I had to push it up a little bit for today. So you can always watch this back later. And if you're watching us at a later date, we're going to do altcoin requests. We'll just go in order of the chat. So if you see your coin request in the chat, you can just skip ahead. If you want more help navigating this cycle, consider subscribing to our Patreon group. We do daily updates in there on Bitcoin, altcoin requests, market caps, everything, and then some. So let's just kind of go down the list here until we get some requests in the chat. Let's start off with, how about Chainlink, right? We'll go look at Chainlink. We put a video out yesterday on Link, right? Back-to-back retest. Looks very similar to Bitcoin on the 21. Looking for new highs, right? Until we get a close at new highs, you guys always be a little bit skeptical. Even though it looks great, just like Bitcoin, we got to watch for that. So we're looking for a close on Chainlink above 26.13. Go with that. And then let's go look at the weekly. So check up there. Right, looks good. New highs, right? Just closed highs. Above the Bollinger Bands, right? We're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4. We're trying to get 4 consecutive weeks above the upper Bollinger Band. Here's our high time frame previous resistance zone. Hopefully flipping this to support in the 20 area. Watch the EMA 8 on a retest. If we go lower, that's at currently 1875 as of this week and rising. All right, we can look at Render. We got a request in the chat. Render's having a decent day today, huh? Up 15%. Let's get our Bollinger Bands off. They kind of skew the charts. 1, 2, where we got 5 consecutive green weeks. That looks great. Right to the 786 so far. Still lower high than this. I would look for a target above $11. If we can close above 11, then 14 and price discovery mode is nearby. But wouldn't be surprised if we have already backtested this already this week at the 618 and the EMA 8. So that's a good sign. Maybe that's all we needed. If we can close above the 786, 1037, right? We could even narrow this zone. I think just the high close and these high wicks that we're looking at from last week. I think Render's on the verge of breaking down the door, right? The 1618 above is almost $34. Then we have our macro 1618 over here at 40. I think it's 40. 48, excuse me. Even better, right? So 34 to 48 is a big zone, but you have, like, why am we getting these two Fibonacci levels, right? I'm a fan of you doing both so you don't get fooled, right? If they start to align, especially when you have like opening wicks of charts, I don't generally like using that fib, but you know, we have our highs from March, our lows from July, August, and then, you know, these should be a little bit more accurate. So let's watch for this. The 786 clear that first, right? That's what we got to work with as for now. Fetch, we go to look at Fetch. 180 up 8% almost on the day. Another good mover, right? A lot of coins moving today. Looks pretty good. Bitcoin bullish, but not too bullish. That's what you get for altcoins. Break to above, right? We just closed above the 618 on ASI, Fetch, right? Previous swing low, wicks, new swing high, and then we just closed above it. That's a big move. That's a more significant move than you might have thought. Back test on the EMA 8, that we shouldn't be closing back below that, 160, right? So you'd want to note that. Previous swing high from November even, breakout 2 consecutive weeks. Retest on the EMA 8. So far, it held perfectly on our retest. Just happened, right? Ideally, if we could close above 189 this week, that'd be a pretty big win. So I would note that. If we can close a little bit higher, then our next target, 786, or just shy of 250, that would get Fetch rolling again. I like the pattern here. Right? Higher low, much higher low. Kind of get this W pattern working. Right? Those are typically pretty bullish. Maybe we do something like this and then back test there. And then off to the races. Hopefully a little bit faster than this, right? I'd like to see it maybe shift this way a little bit, right? We don't want to wait till April to get up here. Maybe mid-February if we could do something like that. That looks pretty good. But watch for, see how we interact with the 786. I would guess we're going to see some hesitation around 250. But this is pretty great. We were just at $1, you know, a month ago. So now that we're knocking on the door of $2, right? Baby steps. E-Gold. If you're new and you haven't watched any of these before, if you're wondering what all these colors are, I color code my charts based on how strong they are structurally. So blue is the strongest. Green is strong, but not quite there. And then orange is a little sketchy. You know, better than most, but, you know, worse than others. Red is pretty bad, and pink is the worst. So generally speaking, I try to, you know, inform all my, you know, subscribers not to be too deep into pink and red coins. They tend to fade their moves. Even if they move well, they usually come right back. I just had it. EGLD. There he goes. I see it now. So we're in orange, but we can probably upgrade this. Let's see if we can upgrade it. Probably not yet. We're still under the 200. We're still under range highs. So this is still cautionary. At least in my opinion, right? We're still got range highs from the bear market. We haven't broken yet. So if you're wondering why, even though it's above majority of your moving averages, it's below this one. And it's still down a considerable amount from our all-time highs, which is, you know, not really a great sign to still be down 90%. So caution there. If we can, in the next handful of weeks, get above like 75, hey, we can start to look at this again. So I'd love to look at this chart again if we can knock down 75, but we still got some work to do, right? All right. Yeah, volatile week so far. I feel like there's more to this chart. I feel like I got a bad exchange. If you got an exchange with the most data, I'd like to use that one. Let's see if I can get another one. KuCoin's got to have more, right? Yeah, plenty more. All right. There we go. Okay, I knew there was more data than that. Okay, so that's also a side note. If you're ever looking at a chart and you're like, I thought there was more history than this, you can just go up here, click on it, and then you can look at all the different exchanges. You know, that can be helpful if you're new starting out and you're like, what the hell? Okay, so big move up, past 5 weeks, move back down. Structurally, this is exactly what you want to do, and this is the sign of alt season, right? When you start to see a lot of alts, right? Previous range low support, flip to kind of resistance, back to support, right? Structurally, this is a good setup. So that's what we don't want to close back under 70 cents. I'd watch, or excuse me, 7 cents. You wish it was a 70. So we're still down a little bit. Current price is still down 70% from the highs, but that's not too bad. We're looking for our next high target. Just take out the highs, right? Not a big deal there. Let's look at our Fibonacci swing. So the 1618 gets us to new highs. Price discovery, 30 cents. Then $1 at the 2618 is pretty exciting. We got a nice, 13x to get up there. That's pretty good. That's a pretty good target. If we can clear $1 this cycle, I think that would be pretty great. Just if you were wondering, the 3618 is at 370. The 423 is at almost $8. Look at the cycle lows. That's still a 10x, 3,500%. So, you know, in the grand scheme of things, like, these moves are still, you know, possible. You want to always check your crypto market caps on these. You know, make sure it's not calling for a trillion market cap or something like that. If you see Moonboy's calling for XRP to, you know, $30, right? Do the market cap on that and realize that's more money than has ever been printed in existence. And probably not going to happen, right? So I'm a big fan of looking at market caps, Fibonacci scales, you know, what you're reading from your lows to the highs, potential, right? If you're 80,000% move to your 2618, realize that's probably not on the cards. But anything, you know, on the ballpark of 20,000% from the lows, cycle lows to new highs, potentially, right? A lot of coins did that last cycle, around 20,000% move for the high movers. Okay, let's keep it moving. Bonk, good to see some familiar names here. Faces, I'll never see your face, but Bonk, it's up here somewhere. A lot of coins doing great today after the volatile move earlier in the week. Bonk's going into a near textbook bull flag pattern. Right, look at that, right on the EMA 8. I think we might see another explosive move back here in the not so distant future, maybe in the next week or two, because of the structure. This is a perfect structure. Breakout, a throwback, which is a bullish retest of previous broken resistance. Now should flip to support, which it looks like it's doing perfectly. Right on the EMA 8, a textbook weekly bull flag. I would put this way up on the scale for, you know, potential breakout moves here. So Bonk's looking pretty stellar here. How high? Well, you can see we can't really get a fib extension here on any of these. If you want, I mean, I guess we could take, you know, this is pretty sketchy. And you also, like, doing fibs on meme coins is relatively meaningless, right? They're kind of more sentiment driven and, you know, mania driven. So I don't really like using fibs on those. But, you know, if this breaks out, I mean, I would expect a pretty sizable move on Bonk. Let's kind of see what we got here. So for a rough measured move, can we get up to, from current prices, that would, looking like 3.5x away. Let's see if that, I mean, that gets us well above the 618 there. I mean, we can even do the short-term play, assuming the low is in. Gets us close to the 2618, and this is just a rough projection of this flag. That's a lot of assumptions in that. I wouldn't read too much into that. But just structure-wise, this looks like it's probably ready to explode even more. And by explosive move, I'm that. Like a 2x in a week, potentially on the horizon. Just my opinion on that. Don't take that to the bank, but looks pretty tasty. AKT. Out of all the charts we've looked at so far, I mean, that one looks, if you're going to ape in on something. AKT, let's look at this weekly. I mean, nice move. Jesus. Off the lows. 4,000%. Still up 2,200%. So this is definitely outperforming a majority of the crypto cycle, crypto market this cycle so far. Let's look at the move. Obviously, we can probably remove that. This Fibonacci didn't last. I think the last time we looked at it was probably there. Okay, so now let's readjust this. Probably been a while since we looked at this one. All right, so our swing high at 710 to our low in July, August of $1.80. Here's your current projections based on the Fibonacci. 400% move, 300% move, 4x, $12. Another 16x away, 16.5 is get you to 60. But let's check our cycle lows to high theory, right? That's starting to get a little bit too frothy, in my opinion. 10x, 100x rather, 10,000%. Maybe we can knock on the door of like $30 this cycle if this keeps going because of how bullish it went. But, around the 20,000% move, it still gets you like one of the top performers. I like the back-to-back weekly closes above the 618 here. If we can close above 530 in the next couple of weeks, right? Volatile week again, opening to low, almost a 30% move this week. But look at where it bounced right off in the 21 week. That's great. Great sign. So, if 5 weeks up, 1 week down, I think you could copy and paste that. That would be pretty okay with everybody, I think. We can also look at range high zone. Probably see some resistance here. 550 to 6. Once that falls, price discovery. There's your first target. That's a pretty big first target. That's one of the bigger ones. But that's kind of what you get when you get these major moves. Pretty cool. Let's see what else. ZRO. I think that's a new one. All right, nice breakout, right? Not a whole lot of history here, but this looks similar to Bonk as far as structure-wise, right? Breaking highs, range highs, back testing those highs. That's pretty bullish, and it's already recovered a lot, right? That's if you could have bought on that EMA 8, right? Coulda, woulda, shoulda. 25% up already off of that. But look at how perfect that structure is. These are the things you want to be watching out for. This is a good coin. Gets my stamp of approval, and this is a new one. This almost should be blue. I would put it blue, but we don't have a whole lot of history. If we have more history, I would put this blue, but probably should still be blue. Just FYI, this is probably one of the stronger charts, especially after the low retest of that 520 area and immediate bounce. Good sign there. And again, Fibonacci is not going to be super great on this. I wouldn't even pay attention to it. We got to get some more history first. Let's look at the daily chart. Back test the 21-day EMA right on the wick to the zone. Looks really good here. Good structure setup. Good request. Aave. Let's go look at Aave. Green chart. Up 5% today. Holding the EMA 8. Structure-wise, look at that back test on the 21, right? Are you catching a drift here? That 21 almost seems like it's significant, right? 21 EMA in crypto is your line. You better be holding that as support in a bull run, especially phase 3, right? You got to be doing that. This one's no exception. Look at that move. This has been doing fantastic for the past several months. Let's zoom out. Close above the 618. The 1618 and the 618, both, this is a huge level for Aave. And it just blew through it. Looks great. The next 786 levels, I'm knocking on the door 400. You got all-time highs at the 2618 at 530. This looks really good. Not blue, right? If you're wondering, like, even though it's look real good, right? To be a blue chart, you got to be really at all-time high territory, and your chart's got to be looking great. A lot of history. It's hard to get in the blues, right? So if your coins are in the blues, right, it's a good chart. So all-time high 670. That should easily happen, right? Based on certainly the past few weeks, the structure-wise looks like a real good build. You know, flipping this 618 and the 1618. Great. That was a big brick wall, and we just ripped right through it. So there's your fibs. Like to see this again, maybe if we're knocking on the door 400. Not a whole lot you can argue with here on the bear side. Not a whole lot to go off with. So looks like a good chart. Near blue chart. You can see what a blue chart looks like. Right, at or near all-time highs. Major moves, big structure. Testing the lid line right now. Another good sign here. For highs. Sorry, there's some movement outside my house. Big semis. Gotta always check that. Okay, so back testing the EMA 8 right at the 618. Good. Right, look at the wick. It went right damn to it. The low is at 593. The 618 is right at 6. Those are the things that are, you know, in the 6 months from now, you'd be like, oh, look, perfect retest, and now it's catapulting higher. So we haven't even really seen the next big move yet. And this could take a couple more weeks, but I would expect a pretty explosive move out of near when it comes again, based on just this structure. I mean, we're looking at like 2024 of a massive build here, right? This looks great. Close above 825. Let's go with this high. Yeah, 825. Close above 825, and I would expect a pretty big move. Like last time we closed here, right, it went pretty strong. It did a 40% move in a week after it closed a new all-time high. I would expect something relatively similar here. So let's see what that would be. So once we close 825, roughly, you know, maybe should easily get us above, double digits, 1150, something like that. The 1618 is at 17, 2618 at 50. Let's check our cycle moves though. 800%. So it gets us 1700. Still seems like in the wheelhouse. That's only 5,000% move up there from lows. Could we possibly make it to 100? That'd be pretty exciting. We should do it more. Maybe we'll add this to the YouTube video cycles and kind of look at it a little bit more. That's 10,000% move. Check the market cap on that, on a $100 coin. That looks pretty exciting though. So to get to 100, we'd have to do another 14x. Potentially. Looks pretty good. AIOZ. I think this is another good one. Yep. So another really good chart. This is a blue chart. I don't know why it got deleted from the blue, but that was definitely an accident. So let me drag this up so you can see it. 115 up 4% today. It's really in price discovery, right? The back test didn't even hit the EMA 8. That's pretty bullish. It back tested the range highs. Range high close right on it. Another ultra bullish chart here. And I do mean ultra, right? Oh, I mean, look at this move. How structurally perfect this was. Look at the lid line back here. Back in March, broke through it. And then on the retest, it just back tested on a macro scale of that lid line. A massive monthly throwback. Of course this is going to happen. Like 30 cents to a 3x in a couple of weeks, really. And now we're doing like a mini version, perhaps, right? Where we just kind of rinse and repeat on a smaller scale. So again, don't lose patience if we fumble the ball, right, a little bit and altcoins kind of come back down. Pay attention to these levels. If you're wanting to get more, that's going to be the significant spot. And we just did it like a couple days ago, right? So the 1618 on the macro from last cycle is at 350. And then we have 225. So probably be some kind of resistance, I would guess, in there if we blast right to it. Not too much more to get there. 2x and a 3x. So 2 or 3x away from some kind of next resistance once we make our another big strong move, and tends to make some pretty significant moves pretty quickly. That is very significant. Wow. We did a 15-16x in 90 days. And just outside of 6 months, it did 100x. So getting up here, right, you remember our measured moves like 20, 30,000% tend to be kind of the top. So I would put potentially a price top up here. Could it go higher? Yes, but it would be like one of the better performers in crypto history, which, obviously it started out this bull run doing just that. So maybe it does continue that way. All right, so we'll see if we can continue higher. That's a blue chart for a reason. Good one. Welcome in, everybody. I know it's a little bit different time today. Just pushed it up a little bit. Appreciate y'all being here. We'll continue on a little bit more. Altcoins doing well. Look at Turbo up 33%. Let's go just look at that. Basically nothing but up. Up only mode for Turbo. The 618, there you go, 2 cents. Looks great. Meme coin all you want, but structure is there as well. When you have memes, community behind it, and a good structure, it's like perfect recipe for, 30% daily candles. See what else we got. Anything up else big time? Cody up 20%. A lot of the pink charts down. If your coins are down 10, 20% today, probably a pink chart. I don't see anything else up major. Render's up. For a multi-billion-dollar market cap, I think Render's doing pretty good for 15%. Pendle's a good one, right? That's looking pretty tasty. On the verge of pretty big breakout, I think. Right, look at this structure. Right, if there's anything more bullish than this, there's not many. Look at the hug of the EMA 8. All retests go right to there. We just back tested this week, right at $5. It's at the lid line right now. Again, this will be another explosive move likely coming in the not so distant future. There's your fib extensions. $18, $75. The market cap definitely allows for that. We've looked at this a little bit more in our Telegram group. There's a 3x to the 1618, 12x, 12.5x to $75. Potentially is there. Market cap would allow for it. Hasn't really done a major move yet. Perfect structure. Let's check the Gaussian channel. Holding the upper Gaussian channel. Look at that. Look at all these low wicks, low closes. Holding above that. Good sign. Shouldn't be closing back below 5. That'd be like worst case scenario. I wouldn't want to see that. Anything's possible, but I would expect an explosive move here. Whether or not it takes another couple of weeks or we go into January before it happens, who cares? I think it's the structure is there to, it's knocking on the door of blue chart, and I would be pretty comfortable doing that. Certainly once we get above 7, could easily be a blue chart. Again, blue charts are not, there's not that many. Let's go look if you're wondering. As I say that, there's much more over the past couple of weeks, right? Because I try to keep these updated, but that's not too many. Most are meme coins, as ironic as that is. But there you go. The blue, I know you can't see. Let me see if I can remove my picture real quick. There you go. If that helps. So I'm scrolling down here. There's all my blue charts as of this week. If you were wondering. All right. That changes week over week. I try to keep these updated. Alrighty. Are we about done? It'll be kind of a short stream. Let me see if I can get my face back on the screen. I've exited too many windows here. All right, we're still looking good on the health stream. All right, we'll do Tron. And I guess that'll wrap it up. Kind of a quiet bunch today. Not a whole lot going on, right? Bitcoin 100K. We'll see if we can get a move. Let's look at, Tron's got tons of history. Look at the monthly chart on Tron. This is what I'm talking about for lid lines. Remember we just looked at Pendle? And some of these other coins that are at their lid line? Like, this is what can happen after lid lines break. Immediate jump to 1618. Look at that candle. This is a monthly. Let's go back down to the weekly. Lid line, back test, retest, come back up again, break through, again, throw back, retest, and then that's where you get your massive move. Look at the structure here. I mean, 15 cents to 30 cents on the retrace. It's down. How crazy this is. It's down 36%, and it's 2x'd off of the throwback. Even right now. Just hit perfectly off the 1618. And if, just side note, right, if you don't know this, right, if you make a massive quick move to the 1618 on these fibs, you gotta take a little bit off the table, because it's like extremely high odds that you're gonna reject right off of that when you do it this fast. And it's not that it's bearish by any means, right? It's just smart money taking money off the table. And look how much more you can buy. Even right now, it's still like frothy, and you could still buy 30% more than you just had. If we come back down to like the EMA 8, usually that's where I would recommend buying. If you took profits up here, you can now buy almost, 50% more without putting any more money in. Just being smart and not being too greedy, right? This is nothing more than people taking profits off the table. This is smart money exiting at the 1618. Like, fib worked perfect on that. All right, if you want more help, Patreon, Telegram, link below. Thanks for watching this live stream. Probably push this back. I think it's just bad timing on this. Usually we have a little bit more people in here. I did link at the beginning. You can go back and rewatch this. Then I'll put a Chainlink video out probably tomorrow or Friday. Yeah, if you want daily updates, been in crypto since 2017. I do my best to help you avoid all the catastrophes that crypto can bring. So consider subscribing through Patreon. You get access to our private Telegram alert group where we do a lot of extra daily stuff, and I try to help you out and teach you how to fish versus always just watching YouTube videos and getting fish handed to you. All right, I'll see you on the next one. We're green almost across the board. Kudos to you, to your success.